Have you ever wished you could just disappear? Not in a creepy magician's vanishing act kind of way, but in the sense of stepping away from the noise, the drama, the identity everyone else has built for you, and reappearing as someone stronger, calmer, and completely transformed. If that thought ever crossed your mind, you're not alone. And today, we're going to talk about exactly that: how to disappear and transform yourself. Now, before your imagination goes wild, no, this is not a guide on how to vanish like a ninja in the night or change your name to Bob and live in a cave. This is about how to step away from your old patterns and rebuild your life in a way that finally feels like it belongs to you. So grab your tea, your coffee, or your protein shake, because for the next 15 minutes, I'm going to walk you through a mix of practical steps, surprising psychology, a dash of humor, and some powerful insights that could change the way you see yourself. First question: why would anyone want to disappear? Well, because sometimes we feel stuck inside the wrong version of ourselves. The version that says yes when it wants to say no. The version that scrolls social media at 2 a.m., comparing lives instead of living one. The version that repeats old mistakes, not because we're lazy, but because we never stopped long enough to reset. Think about your phone for a second. Every once in a while, it needs a hard reset, not because it's broken, but because it's overloaded. And guess what? You're not that different. To transform, you sometimes need to disappear from your usual patterns, the toxic friendships, the old environment, the habits that keep you playing small.
Okay, let's get practical. How do you actually disappear? Step away from noise. This means creating space, not just physical, but digital. Reduce the noise around you. Log off social media for a week. You'd be shocked how refreshing it feels to not know what your ex, your neighbor, and your cousin's dog are doing every second of the day. Change your environment. No, you don't have to move to Bali. Start small. Rearrange your room. Switch your coffee shop. Walk a new route to work. Environment shapes behavior. If you want new habits, sometimes you need new surroundings. Silence isn't empty. It's full of answers. When you disappear, you give yourself permission to sit in silence. And in silence, you hear your own thoughts, your own dreams, your own identity that's been drowned out. All right, disappearing is step one. But disappearing without transformation is just hiding. We want transformation. So here's a simple blueprint. Declutter your life. Cut out what drains you. Toxic friends? Gone. Overthinking? Journal it out. Too many commitments? Learn to say no. Remember, subtraction is transformation. Rebuild identity. Now ask yourself, who do I want to be? Not what your parents want, not what society wants. You. Write it down. If you want to be the person who wakes up early and exercises, start with 5 push-ups in the morning. Identity is built on small wins, daily micro-actions. Big change doesn't come from grand gestures. It comes from daily, boring actions. Reading 10 minutes, practicing English for 15 minutes, drinking water instead of soda. Small acts create big identity shifts. Reappear stronger. When you've built new habits, a new identity, and a new mindset, then reappear. People will say, "Wow, you've changed." And the best part? You won't need their approval. You'll feel it yourself. Let's be real for a second. Disappearing sounds dramatic, but it doesn't have to be. Example: a friend of mine deleted Instagram for 3 months. He reappeared, fitter, calmer, and suddenly with a book draft written. People were like, "Where did you go?" His answer? into my own life. Or take J.K. Rowling. She disappeared into coffee shops to write, broke and unknown. She reappeared with a story the whole world knows today.
Now, humor break. If you tried disappearing without transformation, people will just think you got lost in IKEA. Not the vibe we're going for. Here's the theory part, made simple. Psychologists talk about liminal space. That's the in-between stage where the old you is gone, but the new you hasn't fully arrived yet. Think of a caterpillar in a cocoon. It literally melts into mush before becoming a butterfly. Disappearing is your cocoon phase. But beware, transformation takes patience. A butterfly doesn't crawl out in 2 days saying, "Ugh, I'm bored." You've got to sit in the uncomfortable middle. That's where the magic happens. Now, I know many of you watching want to improve your English or another language, or simply grow every single day. Guess what? Disappearance works here too. Disappear from excuses like, "I don't have time." Disappear from comparing yourself to native speakers. Instead, reappear as the person who says, "I practice 15 minutes a day. I improve every week. I keep showing up." Learning a language, like transforming your life, is about consistent micro-actions. No magic pill, just daily persistence. So here's the bottom line. To transform, you must first disappear. Cut out the noise. Change your environment. Step into silence. Rebuild your identity through small, daily actions. Accept the cocoon stage. It's messy, but necessary. And finally, reappear as the version of yourself that you chose, not the one the world forced on you. And let me leave you with this. Disappearing isn't about running away. It's about running toward the life you actually want. If this spoke to you, make sure to follow this channel because every episode we dive deep into ways you can grow, transform, and learn something new every single day. Until next time, disappear wisely, transform fully, and reappear unstoppable.